Good Sunday morning, Facebook and YouTube. I didn't use the countdown today. I just said I'm going to come straight to it. I am Kendrick, the sports guy, and happy Mother's Day, ladies, to all the beautiful ladies out there. I hope you are having a good one. It is, again, it's 11 a.m., so you probably have had breakfast. So I know there's going to be some dinner, some lunch is going to be going down. I'm sure the people that love you is going to take care of you. But again, I'm Kendrick, the sports guy. This is our Sunday wrap-up show. We're just going to do a quick show, come in and out. We're going to talk about the NBA, the games that went down yesterday. And we're going to talk about some of the mothers behind some of the more famous athletes. My Mother's Day edition show. So come in. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channels. That is Kendrick Sports Hustle as well as TFG Sports Media. If you haven't already, doesn't cost you a dime. And also, you can follow them both on Facebook. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969 as well as TikTok, where I am live right now. You can follow me on TikTok as well, Kendrick Henderson 51. I got some people already in the chat. What's up, Kane? How you doing? Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Again, appreciate that. You guys make sure y'all tap that screen, share this live as well. So again, this is my Mother's Day edition sports show. I said, yeah, we're going to do a show. It may not be for 15, 20 minutes, but we're going to do a show giving mothers the love, showing love to the mothers. And we're also going to recap the NBA games that went on yesterday. Let me say this first. I forgot to get this off. This is part of my segment. I got to talk to my Wi-Fi connection to those on YouTube and Facebook. My YouTube connection likes to show out, so it might be a little lag. So I'm telling my Wi-Fi connection right now, you come in, you sit down, and you behave, and you don't touch nothing because it is Mother's Day. So we got to show these mothers some love. You hear me, Wi-Fi connection? I think it heard me. I think it heard me. So we're gonna see what happens. What's happening, Michael Sampson? Good Sunday to you. All to the ladies in the chat that come in on TikTok. Happy Mother's Day. All right, let's recap yesterday playoffs games. We had the number 2 seed Celtics and the number 3 seed Knicks. Then last night we had the number 6 seed Timberwolves and the number 7 seeded Warriors. So let's start with the early game. The Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics would come in the Madison Square Garden. They were already down 2-0 in this series. They had been jacking up a bunch of threes. They were 20 for 100 coming into Game 3 in Madison Square Garden, and well, they took care of that. They pretty much took control of this game early on. At one point they were up by 27, and they never relinquished that lead. The previous 2 games, the Celtics had given up 20-point leads, but this time it didn't happen. They actually went in Madison Square Garden and silenced the Knicks 115-93. Now that series is 2-1 in favor of the Knicks. Peyton Pritchard for the Celtics led them in scoring with 23 points off the bench. Jason Tatum added 22 points. Jaylen Brown had 19 points. They had 5 players total in double figures. That is the Boston Celtics. And again, the key stat in yesterday's game was they were 20 for 40 from three-point distance. They shot 50%. Again, that definitely helped that percentage because they were atrocious from the three-point line. And it still baffles me how many three-pointers these teams attempt. Again, the Celtics, they attempted the most three-pointers in the league. And it's just crazy how this game is popping. And, you drive and pop, and you give it out to the three-point line. I think the game has totally changed. Again, I'm not the old man on the lawn. I'm not trying to say the game needs to change, but it definitely isn't as exciting to watch when you see teams jacking up 43s. But again, the Celtics went in there. They took care of business. This series is 2-1. I said that I thought it was going to be tough for the Celtics to win 4 in a row. I still believe that. I still think it's going to be tough, but now you just got to win the next one. And again, they tip off again on Monday. As far as the Knicks, they just came out. They didn't seem like they came out with a team that didn't seem with a lack of energy in my opinion. I think this is when you really could have put this team on the ropes. You already had them on the ropes. You could have really put them down for the knockout, and the Knicks just kind of came in lackadaisical. just started out playing, it didn't seem like they had much energy, like they played in the first two games, and this is what happened. Jalen Brunson did lead the Knicks with 27 points. Karl Anthony Towns had 21, and they shot atrocious from the three-point distance. They were 5 for 25. So that was really the difference in this game. The Knicks were 5 for 25 from beyond the three-point arc. The Celtics was 20 for 40. There you have it. That is pretty much the difference. So they got to get ready to do this thing again, I believe, I think they play again on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe it may be Monday. No, it's Monday, because I think they give them 2 travel days when you have to travel. So they got to come out and see what happens. Now, if the Celtics tie this thing up, if the Celtics grab game 2, this definitely changes the shift of this series. Again, I still think it's going to be tough for the Celtics to win 4 in a row, but they had to get that one. They had to get game 3. And they got game 3, and they did it convincingly. Now, will they shoot the 3-ball like they shot on yesterday? I don't know. But if they continue to do what they did and have 5 players in double figures, the Knicks are going to have to step it up. Mikal Bridges didn't really have that great of a game on yesterday like he had in the first 2. So, again, that was the Celtics and the Knicks. That series is now 2-1 with the Knicks up. Now, the nightcap last night, we had the 6-seeded Timberwolves at Golden State, 7-seed Warriors coming in. This series was 1-1. And it looked like this was going to be a tight one. Obviously, you already know Golden State will be without Stephen Curry for at least another 2 games. So he may not be back until game 6. But the T-Wolves in that second half took control. Mainly Anthony Edwards. Again, I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. He's the most exciting, dynamic player to watch in the NBA. The T-Wolves took this game 102-97. They take a 2-1 lead in the series over the Warriors. Anthony Edwards had 36, dropped a 36 piece on him. He was 13 for 28 from the field. Julius Randle had a triple-double, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. He was definitely the key to the T-Wolves. And Edwards took over in that fourth quarter. And that was the difference in this game. You can tell when you got Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle going, I think this team is going to be it's going to be tough for Golden State to beat this team without Stephen Curry, especially when Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle is playing like that. Speaking of which, Jimmy Butler had 33, 7 rebounds and 7 assists last night. Jonathan Kuminga came off the bench and had 30. They're going to need that from him. Buddy Hield had 14. And Draymond Green, the guy, the defense, the heart and soul of this team, he played like trash last night. He only had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and he did foul out. I think with like 4:36 left in the fourth quarter. He's definitely going to have to step it up if this team is going to have any chance. Not per se scoring a lot. They don't need him to score like that. But he's going to have to step it up in other ways, and he can't foul out. He's got to give him more than 2 points. You got to give him more than 2 points. You make sure y'all tap that screen, share this live in TikTok. He got to give him more than that. Jimmy Butler, he did all he could do. He gave him 33, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. And so this team is definitely, it's a challenge. It's a challenge without Mr. Wardell Curry. He's junior, by the way. He was named after his pops, but he go by Stephen. So again, this series now, T-Wolves are up 2-1. And I picked the T-Wolves to win this in 6. I did pick them to win this. I think it's gonna go 6. And again, the Golden State Warriors should be a little bit worried. Anthony Edwards did tweak his ankle the last game, but he came out, showed no effects of that. And he was rocking and rolling. He was ready to go. So again, T-Wolves got the victory 102-97 over the Warriors. That series now, again, T-Wolves are up 2-1, and they play again on Monday, I believe, as well. Now, OKC, today's games. Mother's Day. Again, happy Mother's Day, ladies. Any ladies that jump in here on my TikTok, hope you have a great Mother's Day. Hope the men and the daughters and sons and all take care of you today. You should just be doing a little bit R&R, resting and relaxing. And hopefully they take care of that. But if you want to watch some NBA, we got 2 NBA playoff games today. We got the number 1 seed OKC Thunder in the West and number 4 seed Nuggets. They tip off at 2:30 p.m. on ABC. Denver leads that series 2-1. They got the big win the other night in overtime. This series is probably going to go back and forth as well. What's going on, Trenton? Good Sunday to you. And then tonight, we got the number 1 seed Cavaliers out in the Eastern Conference and the number 4 seed Pacers on TNT. That tips off at 7 p.m. The Pacers lead that series 2-1. Because it was looking pretty bleak for these number 1 seed. Well, the number 1 seed Cavaliers, more specifically, as well as the number 2 seed Celtics, because they both went down 2-0, but they were able to grab that Game 3 win, and that kind of changes the complexion of these series. But it's for naught if they don't get this. If the Cavaliers don't get this game, it's for naught, because then the Pacers going to be up 3-1, and that damn sure is going to be tough to overcome if that happens. So we got both those games tipping off Mother's Day, NBA, OKC Thunder, Nuggets, 2:30 p.m. ABC. Then tonight on TNT, we got the Cavaliers and the Pacers. And though I'm going to be looking at that early one, won't be watching the other one because I work overnight, so I have to get up. What's up, Gold? How you doing? Good day to you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there again. Oh, got to give you a quick NFL news update. Derek Carr, quarterback for the Saints. He announced his retirement after 11 seasons on yesterday. That definitely changes the complexion of the quarterback position for the New Orleans Saints, who had a chance to draft Shedeur in the second round because they drafted Kelvin Banks Jr. with their first pick in the first round at the offensive tackle at number 9, I should say. I get it. But then they passed over Shedeur in the second round, and they drafted the quarterback out of Louisville, Tyler Shaw, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying that. But anyway, Derek Carr officially announced his retirement on yesterday after 11 seasons. He's had doctors he was conferring with doctors about his throwing shoulder. They found out that it was a little bit more damaged than they thought. It could take surgery, which would have put him out. He would have missed this whole season, but it wasn't guaranteed that was going to fix the issue with his labrum. So he decided to call it a career after 11 seasons. And now the New Orleans Saints, with their new head coach, Kellen Moore, they got an open quarterback competition with that draft pick, Tyler Shaw, with Spencer Rattler. And now I forgot the other guy they got on roster. So, again, that's just some NFL news. And continue on the NFL news. The NFL schedule release is going down on Wednesday evening. Keep it locked here, the Kendrick Sports Host and TFG Sports Media. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna look at some of the key matchups. But again, the big schedule release for the NFL that goes down on Wednesday. So again, we will be doing something on that. Now, before we get out of here, let's talk about mothers. Mothers. James Brown, what was the song, James? The late James Brown said, "It's a man's world, but it wouldn't mean a thing without a woman or a girl," and he is damn sure right on that, because where would we be without the beautiful mothers in our life? And speaking of mothers, if you're watching me on TikTok, that background behind me is my beautiful mother. And I'm going to talk more about her in my segment before I get out of here. And we're going to give some shout outs to some of these mothers behind these influential athletes. I just picked a few, couldn't go down a list and name a whole lot of them. But I picked a few. A lot of people will remember. Let's start with Kevin Durant. Well, he's still a Phoenix Sun, but we'll see where he is. His mother, Wanda Durant. What a big influence she's had on him. Kevin Durant has spoke about his mother numerous times about the influence and her raising him and his brother in the Washington, D.C. era. I think the thing we always remember when Kevin Durant speaks about his mother, Wanda, is his MVP speech, when he said that his mother, Wanda, was the real MVP. I think we all remember that. And I think a lot of athletes, a lot of young men, and even young women probably could say the same thing, that most of our mothers are the MVP in our lives, considering all the sacrifices they have made. What's up, Isaac? Happy Mother's Day. to your mother and to all the other beautiful mothers out there. So, you know, that's something that I always remember. One of the best MVP speeches ever, you know, Kevin Durant, you know, giving his mother her flowers and saying that she was the real MVP. Like I said, I know a lot of us can relate to that. Let's talk about Dolores Jordan, the mother of MJ, who is my GOAT. I did not say he was the GOAT. Before y'all misquote me, I said he's my GOAT. He's my greatest of all time when it comes to basketball. And nobody's going to change my mind about that. But Dolores had a very, very influential, had a big influence on Mike when it came to his endorsement. If you watch The Last Dance, she played a pivotal role in Mikey. She probably called him Mikey. You know, our mothers give us nicknames, and I'm going to talk about that about my mother here before we get out of here. You know, our mothers give us nicknames, so she probably do call Michael Mikey. Well, she was there, played a big role in him signing with Nike, with Sonny Vaccaro, I believe. And they talked about that in Last Dance. And even though we don't see her a lot out in the spotlight because she's played the background. You don't see Mrs. Jordan out there a lot, but she's definitely played a big role in Michael's life. Again, that part about him signing with Nike, I'm sure helping him with some of his foundations. But again, Dolores Jordan, one of those unsung mothers, one of those MVPs for her athlete, for her son, for MJ. Let's talk about Donna Kelsey. Boy, does she stay busy. Donna Kelsey, the mother of Super Bowl champ, the brothers, Jason and Travis, who, by the way, they got their own podcast and they do a whole lot. But Donna, she's taken on the spotlight and she's ran with it. We see Miss Kelsey everywhere. And she's made it be known, you know, them her boys. And she keeps it done. She has to she's been having to play both sides because, you know, I believe she was the first mother to have two sons playing the Super Bowl on opposite teams. So she had to have her jersey. But Donna Kelsey, she's definitely been a big spotlight, been big for her sons. And she's known for her cookies. She's making cookie deliveries before NFL games, and she actually even did it before the Super Bowl between the Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. So got to give a shout out to Donna Kelsey, another mother who's the backbone of two athletic sons. Let's talk about the big guy, the Shaq O'Neal, Miss Lucille O'Neal Harrison, who is the president and founder of the Mothers of Professional Basketball Players Association. She's not out there like that, but she's a little bit more active. We've seen Mrs. Harrison out there, and Shaq has made it known that when he first made it to the league, he had to buy his mama a house. And whatever she wants, Shaq has made it known, whatever my mother wants, she gets it. And Lucille is no nonsense too. Shaq talked about when him and Barkley had that fight when they both were playing, where it really wasn't a fight. It was more like a wrestling match. And Charles Barkley's mother, who was best friends with Shaq's mother, Lucille. Charles Barkley's mother called Shaq on the phone and told him to cut it out. They don't need to be fighting. Cut all that stuff out. So that just shows you how big of influence that mothers have on their sons, and again, on their daughters as well. So I had to give a shout out to Lucille O'Neal. Again, she's the president and founder of the Mothers of Professional Basketball Players Association. So shout out to her, as well as all the other mothers as well on this Mother's Day. Lamar Jackson's mother, Felicia Jones. What a story. I kind of read up that Lamar is the oldest of four. Actually, his father passed away when he was 6. Lamar Jackson's father died of a heart attack. So his mother raised him and his 3 siblings by herself. And she worked out with Lamar in the backyard. She would run with Lamar to get his conditioning up, to get him prepared to play football. All this. Lamar said that Felicia Jones, his mother, is his superhero. And not only that, she is his manager and advisor. He doesn't have an agent. He represented himself, and she helped actually negotiate his 5-year, $260 million deal in 2023. And by the way, whatever percentage, because if you hire an agent, you got to get him a percentage. Well, with his mother being his manager, he would give us. All he had to do was give a percentage to his mother. So there you have it. Hey, give us your thoughts about the most underrated team in the NFL. This is kind of a Mother's Day edition, Matthew. I'm just kind of talking about mothers with it being Mother's Day. But just off the top of my head, the most underrated NFL team in my right now, I would probably say, the Commanders. I think the Washington Commanders is probably the most underrated team in the league, and they had a good year. Obviously, they got blown out in the playoffs, obviously, but I think they are probably the most underrated team in the NFL, and they loading up. And speaking of that quarterback, they got Jaden Daniels and his mother. And since to continue on the theme of mothers, his mother's been catching a lot of flack because she's very involved. Seems like she's very controlling, So there's no such thing as an underrated mom, Matthew. No moms are underrated. Matthew asked me, speak about the most underrated mom out there. There is no mom underrated. We know moms are the backbone of whatever gets done. So yeah, I don't think there's an underrated mom. I'll be doing a disservice if I said that all of them are ranked high in the top 10. That's my opinion. Again, I was just gonna jump in and out of here. I wasn't gonna be on here long because I know it's Mother's Day. A lot of people got dinners and stuff, so you're ready for their mother or want to take them out, want to spend some time with them. Definitely do that. And again, cherish your mothers. Don't just show them on Mother's Day. 365 days a year, because I'm down to my last segment. I'm gonna talk about my mother. That lady you see behind me on TikTok. That's my late mother, Carolyn Louise Henderson. She had me as a 16-year-old teenager, and she would have my baby brother. She would raise us with a village, but raise us by herself. Raise us by herself. She was my biggest fan. This is my 19th Mother's Day without her. I'm going to have to talk to her at her final resting place. That's where I would be going to talk to my mother after I finish this. So my mother was definitely my biggest supporter. She didn't get to see. I have 3 children. My brother has 5. She has 8 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. And we lost her at the age of 53 in 2005 to stage 4 breast cancer. And so life has been bittersweet. Their mother love, and then those that have lost their mother, we got to show them love at their final resting place. But again, it's sad. It can be a sad day, but I try to stay upbeat. Just think about all the great memories I have of my mother. Again, to have me at the age of 16, and then my brother at the age of 22, and then we were able to, she was able to make it happen. May God have, appreciate that. She made it happen. She would eventually give her life to Christ in her mid-20s, and her biggest thing, man, was her love of God and serving others, and her love of her 2 boys, me and my brother, second son. Unfortunately, my mother did not get to see any of her grandchildren graduate. I appreciate that, Matthew. I appreciate your encouraging words, man, because it's a tough day. I don't speak about my mother much. I speak to her in my own way, I guess, if I want to say that. I don't speak about her much, but I speak to her because her spirit is always with me, no matter what I'm in. So it's kind of bittersweet. She don't get to see me doing her thing because she would be shocked, because I was more of her introvert child. I didn't talk a lot, kind of shy. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Yeah, my mother was like 20. I think she was like 20 or 21 on this picture. Matthew says, I know how you feel, OG. Feels like you lose a part of you when mama's gone. Yeah, man. Yeah. It'll be 20 years, October 27, 2005, man, and it still feel like yesterday. You never get over it. You just learn how to deal with it, like I always tell people. So I definitely dedicate this show in loving memory of my mother, the late Carolyn Louise Henderson, who's on her peaceful journey. And I believe I love her. I always love her. Her spirit walks with me and with her grandchildren, with her great grands, and she's always the memories always there. Memories never die. Memories never die. And the heart always remembers. So again, I dedicate this to my mother, the late Colonel Louise Henderson. Your oldest son that's a wrap. And I also want to give a shout out to my baby brother. If y'all haven't, check this out. Second son, D.L. Reed is his pen name. Go to Amazon.com and get his book, Sick, Tired, and Overweight by D.L. Reed, a.k.a. Second Son. This is my baby brother. Go check it out on Amazon if you don't mind. Check it out. It's a good read. I believe you will enjoy it. So again, that's a wrap for today's show. Again, I am Kendrick the Sports Guy. You can catch me here every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. You can also catch me on Fridays, Freestyle Friday at noon Central, 1 Eastern. You can catch me here too, where we just talking sports, man. So again, I hope everybody have a great rest of your Mother's Day. Matthew says, but all you can do is live and try to think what moms would do and would she be proud before making a decision. Man, I couldn't say it more better than that, Matthew. And on that note, that's the way we're going to leave it, Matthew. Man, appreciate the words of encouragement. Again, I hope everyone have a great rest of your Mother's Day. And until Friday, we will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Deuces. God bless you, bro. Rest in power, mama. I'm out. All right, Facebook, YouTube, that's a wrap. On that note, Matthew had a great word over here on TikTok. But again, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Take care of mama today, man. And again, give your mama her roses while she's still here. This show, again, is in dedication and loving memory of my late mother, Carolyn Louise Henderson. Your first son is doing it. We trying to do it, mama. The heart always remembers. Memories never die. Gotta show this. There you go. We out. Yeah. There we go. We out of here. You all have a good one. We'll see you next Sunday. I'm out. Peace.